Hello and welcome to the Horror House Podcast. I'm Dave.
I'm Chris.
Jeff.
Oh, I didn't hear you, Jeff. Wait, did you?
I heard him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It was
just a
like a
little
weird.
subdued.
It was a weird. We've been having Discord and all kinds of issues. But we're here. We're live. We are talking tonight about Jeff. You tell him. You tell him.
About Roger Corman films. Any film.
The man, the myth, the legend.
The king of B movies.
We'll talk as much as we can about whatever we can. So I wouldn't say we're all things Roger Corman, but we'll do our best. And of course, if you want to follow us or talk to us or recommend stuff, there you go. There's all those things. Get on it. I use Twitter and Slasher mostly to say that we're going live now. That's kind of. So give me a reason to be social, people. That's all I'm asking. I'm looking for friends. Could you be a friend? Sing Arms of an Angel. Sing Arms of an Angel. For pennies a day. You could help Chris have other friends. Besides his normal regular friends. That he can count on one hand. He doesn't really need more friends.
I don't know what they might be. Or even the tune from here.
Where did you go? I don't know what I was into it.
In the arms of an angel, we sailed the seven seas.
You were singing a foreign version, which is I'm into.
I'm trying to spice it up a little bit. I'm spicing up. Fuck you, Sarah McLachlan.
She's probably signed through Universal. I mean, be real. Be real.
I wish we were.
Then
we would have copyright strikes.
I forgot to take my shot before we started, so I'm gonna have to do that eventually.
Ooh. I'm gonna take
Chris
it now.
face.
It'll be something like that. Dave, you're going hard.
That's
I respect
only two,
it,
man.
I haven't got my first one yet.
Well, catch up, loser.
Oh shit!
Peer pressure.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Stone cold.
What's the?
For our audio only listeners.
Don't fight it, Chris. Don't fight it.
Oh.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Oh. Cry on stream.
Have we had this? I'm sure we've had this discussion. Chris, do you keep your Old Crow cold?
No. Should I?
Okay, smart man.
Oh, okay.
I do not recommend cold whiskey. I do not like it cold. I think it's just personal preference. I don't think there's a right way and a wrong way. But cold is not for me. I just want it room temperature.
Okay.
And I want to feel smart. So I drink typically with Dr. Pepper. It has PhD.
Was that you talking like a week or two ago? Or maybe even Jeff that said Dr. Pepper is now the number 2 drink or soda?
Yes.
In the world?
Yeah, that was me. Dr. Pepper was like, get the fuck out of here, Mountain Dew, you white trash piece of shit.
Whoa. I mean...
An educated man is coming through.
I can totally get on board with a Dr. Pepper being a number 2. Listen, behind Coke, though, was it Coke number 1?
Coke is number 1.
This is controversial, fellas, and you may kick me out of this podcast, but I think Pepsi's better than Coke. At some point in my life, I made a change. For a long time.
You over this, but not because Pepsi is better than Coke. Because if it's just straight colas, Coke is a better cola. But Wild Cherry Pepsi beats Cherry Coke. Hands down. That's not even close. So, in fact, if I had my choice of colas, I'm going RC.
My wife agrees with you.
Well, the Royal Crown has got it, man. So I'm about royalty. I'm about being educated like a doctor, and I'm about being wild like a cherry cola. So
there you have it.
Wild King, Dr. King, Doctor.
Dr. King?
Wild Doctor. If I say Wild Dr. King, it sounds like I'm besmirching the good name of Dr.
Yeah.
Martin Luther. Please do not.
Finally, by popular demand, the Martin Luther King soda. Fight for fight for civil rights with Dr.
like
Martin Luther King soda. I feel like I'd be obliged to have to get a case.
Don't sit on the back of the bus. Drive that bitch.
Oh my God. Who do we have to contact, Dave? Can I get on board with this? I want to make some money.
Yeah,
we're not besmirching. We're promoting soda equality and civil rights. I don't think, Jeff, you're on board for this. So one side can be one side of the case can be me and Dave being like, buy this shit, and then the other side, Jeff's like, discerning customers say no.
Well, that's perfect, because you never like toothpaste. They never select like to every dentist. No, it's always 9 out of 10. So for us, it'll be like 2 out of 3 whorehouse hosts recommend Dr. King soda.
Out of the 3 people that know of this in the world, 2 of them recommend it. Which, I mean, that's a pretty good average, right? That's pretty good. That's over half.
If you played baseball and you got a hit 66% of the time, you'd be the best baseball player of all time.
Intriguing.
If you're a doctor and only 66% of your patients live, you're probably going to jail. So perspective matters.
Maybe.
That's true. That's true. If you base that 60% on good Van Halen albums, then Van Halen could have been a good baseball player. Kind of.
Jump and OU812.
No, the first album is the one of top 3 for me. Top 3 albums. It's one of the best sounding albums ever. 1978, Van Halen 1. Oh my God. Except if you have the right speaker missing out of your car or the left speaker missing out of your car. I forget. If you, one of the speakers, because all of the guitars are panned to one side, so I was on a trip and was listening to it, and I'm like, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to kill the time singing Van Halen. The only thing I could hear was everything but the guitar, and I'm like, this is kind of shitty. This kind of fucking sucks. David Lee Roth, drum and bass. There wasn't.
Yeah, that and Queen. You just like at work, they like have one earbud in, but it's like all the voices are on one side and all the music's on the other side. It's like, well, can't listen to that.
Yeah. If I have one earbud out a little bit and like I'm listening to like Metallica or something that has like harmony guitars that are panned, I'm like, what is wrong with this song? That done broke my song.
That's why when I'm at work, I only rock one, and I usually do like podcast stuff because I can't handle that.
You don't like them, Dave, but the Beatles have mono masters, so you can listen to them with one thing because it's one thing.
I wouldn't say I don't like the Beatles. I don't know.
Do you fucking hate the Beatles? Was that what I remember? No? I thought I remembered us having a conversation once, and you're like, "Fuck the Beatles."
Do they have a whiskey? And that's probably why.
Surely they do.
Everybody sucks the Beatles' dick. I'm not ready for that, but they're poppy.
Okay.
They're no Taylor Swift.
They are not no Taylor Swift. They're 4 Taylor Swifts.
Oh, no. Okay, let's take them individually. Is George Harrison on Taylor Swift's Leno?
Yes.
George Harrison couldn't
Here
drive
Comes
her
the
fucking limo.
Sun alone.
Yeah.
Alone. All-time classic song.
Ringo's not.
No, I agree.
George and up.
Ringo's the best. Have you ever seen what is it?
The Caveman movie?
1 Million BC? Yes. Ringo's the best fucking one.
I saw that movie when I was a little kid and had it felt like a fever dream because I've remembered it my whole life. Didn't learn till a few years ago that it was real and it was Ringo Starr.
What movie is that?
It's got this awesome claymation. It's so cool.
What was the name of it, Dave? 1 Million BC?
Is it 1 Million BC?
Something like that.
I'll have to look that up.
It is great, Jeff. You have to find this.
I saw
I think Jeff will.
Harry Nilsson Dracula movie that Ringo and him did. That was really, really weird.
I don't know. Ringo Starr Caveman. Oh no, it's called Caveman.
Is it called Caveman?
1 Million BC. Wait, wasn't that?
I said there's a movie 1 billion BC, but I know
1 million years BC. That's a 1966 movie. It's got one of those like exploited kind of hot women on the cover, Raquel Welch.
Yeah, yes.
She kind of fine.
She is iconic in that. Yes. Yeah, no, she is all-time hottie in that. Ringo Starr.
Lord. I can see why you confused that for Caveman. I'd rather remember that than Ringo Starr. We've went hard on a tangent tonight, and I love it.
Which Paul McCartney is the best?
The dead one or the live one? Are you doing the Paul McCartney?
Yeah. Yes.
The dead one. The dead one.
Yeah, the dead.
I don't know the timeline, so Revolver, Rubber Soul is my favorite Beatles era. So I don't know if that's Dead Paul or the one that's alive now, but if it's Dead One, I picked that one.
I think that's Dead One because it wasn't Sgt. Pepper was the one where, or no, Abbey Road is the one where
the barefoot walking across the road.
Yes. Paul's not wearing shoes and everybody else is. So
we should do a conspiracy theory episode on that someday. That would be such a rabbit hole we could go down. That could be cool. And I'm there for it.
And the good thing is this tangent is really going to bring in the young kids into the rabble because there's nothing the kids like but Beatles Star.
Yeah.
This is true. If we didn't get them with the 80s movies, we're getting them with the Beatles.
Sure, by now Jackie is tired listening to me say every time the Bosom Buddies theme song comes on the radio, this is the best 80s song.
Comes on the radio?
80s theme song.
Yeah. It's My Life by Billy Joel.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, I guess I didn't know.
It's just a regular song.
Mac Black Twitch says, do it. Do the Abbey Road. I'll put it on my list.
Okay.
I will put it on my list. And that will be so good. We've never really done we've kind of dabbled in the conspiracy theory here and there, different ones. But that'd be such a good one.
We should also take a moment to thank and I have a question for you, Mac Black.
Thank you for the follow.
Roll that dead musician theory into a boat episode.
You're breaking up, Dave.
Yeah, you are Bigfooting hard right now.
You're like in and out the entire monologue.
I heard, do you want to roll that into a Bubba Hotep? And I don't know what that means.
Bubba Hotep, such a
Roll it
good
into a
movie.
Bubba Hotep episode. Yes.
That would be a good one.
Did you watch Bubba Hotep?
Yeah. And waited 15 years for the sequel that never happened.
It was so fun to me.
Try your question again. Try your question again. Let's see if we can get it.
Okay.
We're trying. We're trying real hard.
Mac Black.
No.
Yeah. Would you like us to roll a musician conspiracy theory into a Bubba Hotep episode? Because that's the kind of premise of Bubba Hotep.
Yeah, true.
So let us know in the chat if that's something you're interested in.
Okay. I don't quite understand, but I'm there for it. That would
Elvis,
be great.
Because Bruce Campbell's Elvis, and so he like traded out, and the guy who took his place died, and then the whole JFK is a black guy.
But we're talking about the Beatles.
Yeah, in a way.
Yes.
Well, right. But
am I the black guy? Like, am I the old? Am I JFK?
You're JFK.
What was my job?
And Jeff is Bobby Kennedy.
Oh.
And I'll be.
Oh no! With the worm.
With the worm? What the fuck are you talking
in his
about?
brain? The ate part of his brain.
Not Robert Kennedy. Bobby Kennedy.
Is that a different person? Oh.
Yes. Yeah.
So a whole
history is not our strong suit with the James County education.
Well, you said Bobby Kennedy, and I assumed Bobby Robert. I'm like, yeah.
That's where I was at. Are they not the same people?
Yeah. Max says that we should do the Beatles albums and the album covers, not only Dead Paul conspiracy. I'll write that down. That is on my list. I will type really loud so you can hear that I'm being honest. How do you spell conspiracy? I got it right. Never mind.
Which song is it? Is it Hello that has like all the animal sounds, and it's every animal sound that they play is supposed to be like one that could eat the other one?
Oh, I don't know that one.
Whoa. Good Lord, we can go deep with Beatles conspiracies.
It's right? Yes.
There's so much stuff out there.
Yeah. That said, we'll put a pin in the Beatles for now. I'm kind of inspired to like see what we can do with that. I really am. So we'll see. We'll see what we can compile.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
I am so in. It may be this whiskey that's getting ready to enter me talking, but I think it's news time.
I can't remember the name of the show, but there's a British TV show where a guy went to the past, and he would in order to make money in the past, he would start playing Beatles songs. And it's like right before the Beatles like came out and became popular and stuff like that. And so like then years down the line when he was still like going back and forth between the past and the future, like
I've had that thought before. I'm like, if I could time travel, I would blow a mind. I just show up in like 1895 and play Enter Sandman, and then you're like, oh my God, people's minds are literally melting out of their noses and ears, and it's just gore everywhere. People don't know how to handle it.
It'd be like Back to the Future, where your kids will love this.
Yeah. Actually, you're probably right. I'd have been set on fire.
And I'd be like, might as well jump. Might as well jump.
You would do a slam poetry thing of David Lee Roth, and then next thing you know, you're the next prophet. You're the Nostradamus.
Do it more like, oh crap.
What? My rendition just was kind of a James T. Kirk.
There we go.
Reading of.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I had the thought and it left me as soon as I started talking.
All right. Are you guys ready to talk about some horror news to me? Are you ready to deliver news?
The kids are demanding the horror news.
I'm kids.
The kids are demanding the horror news.
Right here.
Yeah.
Both holes.
Let's give it to
them. Hated that. Hated everything about what I just said. I would end the stream right now if I was a more morally in line person. You could play metal songs about the pandemic mixing Orwell 1984. You could. It is time to talk about some news.
Mac Black, we might be part of the pandemic conspiracy because we did a show on Contagion right before the world shut down.
In March 2020. And then we didn't do another episode for over a year. It was interesting.
Yeah. We just let it hang like a smelly fart in an elevator.
Like right as stuff started to shut down, we did our last episode that season, and it was crazy. But news time, fellas. Here we go. Newsroom switch. Here we are. Give me your news.
Great. This is great. Who wants to go first? All right. I'll go first because mine is only horror adjacent.
Okay.
Jeff has seen it. Jeff and I are clearly on sounds like opposite sides of this. Chris has not seen it yet.
Undecided.
Sausage Party, the Seth Rogen movie that was incredibly deceptively advertised, if you ask me, is the sequel that we've been waiting with bated breath for. Foodtopia is finally coming. But it's coming as an 8-episode miniseries on Prime is what it looks like. So Jeff, go ahead, give us your candid thoughts on Sausage Party.
Yeah, not worth it.
Not worth it at all?
Jeff,
you entertained at all?
No. I was thinking maybe we could get you to resubscribe to Prime on stream just for that. No. Okay, so it's down.
It is no doubt though that it is horrific. Some of the stuff and when the food comes to the revelation that they're not going to heaven, they're being eaten and consumed by their gods.
Humans are gods to them?
Yeah.
It is raunchy.
Okay.
Yeah, humans are gods. And when humans buy them and take them out of the store, they're going to this great place, it's like a heaven an analogy.
So they want to be picked off the shelf.
And
that's their
okay. They want to. Yes, they want to. Until they learn the horrifying truth. And then they riot and murder everybody in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And there's a living douche going around. Which might be my favorite part, some of the douche stuff. Yes. And the sausages, when they go to the Stone's house, and the dude's about to eat them, and he's like, "Wait!" And the stoner's like, "What the fuck?" And then they murder that motherfucking hippie. It is gonzo. This movie is gonzo, Chris. You have to watch it just for...
I had to break the tie, essentially.
I'm not saying it's a good movie.
Jeff certainly isn't saying it's a good movie. I'll give that the rating this week. Because I don't know. Jeff, what's your news? What news do you have? You had a news?
Oh yeah, it's local to Indianapolis. The Irving Theater is having Cthulhu the Musical with puppets on the 19th.
That sounds really cool. Which is a Wednesday. which is bullshit.
Wednesday.
Incidentally,
is it a one night only event, or do you know?
Yes, the one night.
How could you do that 2 nights in a row? You would kill yourself. The amount of dexterity you'd need to perform the Call of Cthulhu with your hands? Lord.
Shadow puppets.
Oh.
Thank you, Jeff. I was thinking the same thing. It's not
damn
shadow puppets, it's just puppets.
Oh. Maybe I don't want to go.
I'm sure to have understudies who can sit there and just swing the puppets around.
70 people backstage like working together to make a Cthulhu like work right. In shadows. That would be rad, actually. I don't know that I'd be able to miss that. I don't think I would physically be able to not go. I'm going to give that 2 thumbs up, because that just sounds cool. Any kind of puppets for Cthulhu, hell yeah. Dave.
I'll take a look
buddy.
at this real quick. Yeah, give me one moment. I'm gonna take a look at this. $20 tickets advance, $25 day of show.
Get them now, get them
cheap.
cheap.
Might be getting a little colder next week, boys.
And Smash Burgers is right outside the theater, so
I've never had Smash Burger.
Say less.
So good.
Say less. Yes, I fucking love Smash Burgers.
Dave, where was that place we used to go when we get comics? What was the name of that place? I love that place so much, and they closed it. What was it?
Beefcake Burgers.
Beefcake Burgers. R.I.P.
Yes.
brother.
Jeff, did you ever eat there when they were in business?
Oh my god!
You could get as many burgers as you want. I was actively working my way up to 10 patties. I think I was at 6? Was the biggest I had?
Maybe something like that. I think I got to 3.
So when you look at me and say, "Man, Dave's fat," this isn't fat, Jeff. This is the body of an athlete.
That's cultivated.
A bulking phase. I've been bulking phase for 20 fucking years, but I'm bulking.
All I can think of when you say this is the body of an athlete, it just reminds me of SNL with John Belushi, and then they had like donuts, breakfast of champions.
Donuts and cocaine, man. That was Belushi's real life diet.
That sounds about right.
Cocaine.
Sometimes he would just put. Yeah, is that a powdered donut? Well, it's a cocaine powdered donut.
Cocaine donut. What news? Yes. What else news also have you? What news have you, I say?
Chris just got back from the medieval times, and
Sire Dave, please inform me with your news.
Do I have more news? I don't really think I have.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really have very much more. There is a release date for Trap, but I don't even know what it is. I'll have that ready. I'll have some stuff next week.
Trap was the Josh Hartnett movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Josh Hartnett, and M. Night Shyamalan.
I saw his daughter had a movie come out, right? And got some reviews. I'm like, runs in the family, I guess.
It's out now, and I kind of want to watch it, but I want to watch In a Violent Nature more, so I might be going to see that Sunday.
I saw somebody on TikTok or somewhere, maybe YouTube, saying that they were in a theater and somebody was laughing during that movie, like weirdly, and so it's the only movie they've ever left early because they were concerned on how this person was behaving during this movie. I'm like, well, understandable. I think that's understandable.
Is it though? Like, who hasn't watched a Friday the 13th movie and rooted for Jason at least once?
I have never once like laughed during a kill. I don't think that blew my mind when I went and saw Freddy vs. Jason back in the day, and people were laughing during the kills. I'm like, it's not like I'm frightened by them. I'm entertained, but I'm not like like as times went by, I kind of understand the opposite side to that, but it's still just I don't understand stand personally to laughing at that kind of stuff. But Dave, you do. Jeff, how do you feel? I know how Dave feels. How do you feel? Where do you sit on this? Like,
it depends. Like sometimes they're ridiculous, or the way they act is ridiculous, and you can't help but laugh.
So if Jason takes a bed and smashes the dude like that from bottom, like, you know, do you laugh at that, or you just?
I'm just like, it makes me want to laugh at it because I've been playing the multiverses, but
oh yes,
but like actually seeing it like horrifically happening in front of you, I wouldn't have probably laughed at it that at all. But just thinking about, oh yeah, him doing this, or
that, I think that was the first. That was the first kill in Freddy vs. Jason where people were laughing behind me, and I'm like maybe my stupid brain is like thinking like, how did they make that happen technically? Like, how come? how do they?
Doesn't I feel like it very much depends on the victim, and I'm not trying to victim blame, but in that first kill, the boyfriend in Freddy vs. Jason, he's a fucking dick.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
so no, I was like, yes, Jason is woke. He's a feminist, and he wasn't taking that shit. He heard that way that guy talked to his girl, and he's like, no,
dude. Hold on, what's her name?
Now, if I was that wasn't Big Titties. That was
no, Catherine Elizabeth. Oh my God, Catherine Elizabeth. Listen, if she needed a getaway driver ever, and I hate driving, I hate going places, I'm on board. I'll do it.
Can confirm. Now, I will say, if I had watched Hereditary, when the telephone pole scene, if somebody laughed, immediately on the phone with like good sense, like, hello, needs situation, but it gasped through.
I think we gotta wait for your internet to catch up to you.
Yeah.
God.
You're yeah.
Damn it. Okay.
It sounds like you're flicking like a tight wire when you speak. It's like bang, bang. It's real weird. It's coming. It gets there. It's getting there. I think it's better than your last internet. But
that's not. I will. We gotta get the fiber in here. I got to get the fiber in here.
I prefer Fuzzy Dave versus Glitchy Dave.
Maybe you're right.
Do they have to come in my house to set up the fiber?
Yeah. They have to put a battery thing in there. It doesn't take long.
I can put a battery. I mean, what do they need? AAA, AA? I got it.
No, it's like a big box. I don't know what it does. It's a great box. It's my favorite box.
If it rains a lot and the box gets underwater, you have to jump to the bear, and what
there's a corn shark about 10 yards away. I have one piece of news before we leave the news desk, and it ain't got nothing to do with that guy. But fellas, the reason I was a little bit late getting stuff ready tonight is because Metallica got added to fucking Fortnite, and that's been my whole day, and I fucking love it. And if you never see me again, that's where I am. Having a great time.
You didn't tell me that.
They just got put in today.
I can't believe Jackie did.
And a few Black Album songs got put in. Ride the Lightning. The Festival Pass, which is, Jeff, I don't know if you're into the Fortnite thing. They've added basically Rock Band into Fortnite, and that's what I live. That's where I live. And they each
expanding it.
Yeah, and they have like some kind of a racing thing that I'm not super into, but they have Rock Band, and I even bought a $130 fake guitar to play along with it. I'm in bad, and I love it. I fucking love it. It's so fun. Songs are expensive, but there's Metallica in there now, and they have a special season pass for just the Metallica shit, and you get the whole band skins of each of them. So I'm getting James Hetfield. I got James Hetfield's Explorer guitar, like a more recent one, which isn't quite as cool as like the old ESP Explorer used back in the day. But I'll take it. I'll take it. And it was free, so God bless. Epic Games. You're killing it. You're killing it. You got me. You got me. You got the hooks in me.
Does Hatfield come with an emote where he kicks Dave Mustaine out of the band?
Oh my God. That would be rad. That would be rad. I love Megadeth. Don't get me wrong. I love Megadeth, but that'd be rad.
So when is Metallica suing Fortnite?
No, they're in on it. They're even promoting it. They're so in there.
Oh, okay.
They're in on the whole thing. I remember the South Park episode where the boys are pirating music, and he
swatted.
He time travels them so they can see Lars, and they're like, "What do you see here? It's Lars Ulrich, and he's polishing his Cadillac." But yes, look at the wheels. Well, they're solid gold. Yes, but if you didn't pirate that music, they could be platinum. Oh my God, what have we done?
Max says to go back to our Freddy versus Jason laughter in the theater, kind of laughter at horror. Says maybe nervous laughter, which turns into real laughter, happened to me when I saw Freddy versus Jason. I feel like we're all on different kind of ends of this. It's like a weird spectrum. It's not like a line. It's like a fucking. Is that what the fourth dimension is? I've never understood it when it's explained to me. Is that kind of? I think we may have figured something out tonight, and I don't know that Jeff agrees with me. He's just humoring me.
Uncovering the truth, getting to the deeper truths of humanity.
Yeah.
Through whiskey and horror movies,
which is our lives. That's what we do. That's what we do every week. Every Thursday, we do. Also, I don't know that every Tuesday will be a thing, but when we can, we are playing games now. Hold that thought. Let's leave the news desk and get personal. Are we good? Good to leave news?
The news desk is supposed to be dispassionate. We are professional journalists, so yeah.
Yeah, okay, we'll leave the news desk and then we'll get biased. I kind of already was. God, whoever made that's a handsome fella.
Say pantsome.
Handsome. But what the fuck were we talking about right before we switched over? I'm like, let's talk about this in the regular horror house. What were we just talking about?
Biases.
Right before the bias?
No. Yeah.
Somebody go watch the stream.
Okay. I'm not.
So we're playing games now.
Was it the games?
Yeah.
We talked about Metallica?
You said not necessarily every Tuesday.
Oh, the games.
There we go.
Oh,
it's all coming back.
Take another shot, Chris.
This is like my real life, though. I'm like, hey, move the weed eater. And my wife is like, shut the fuck up. I'm talking about the vacuum cleaner. She's like, you need to get it together. I'm like, I'm doing my best. I have the brain of a goldfish. It's miraculous that we're live streaming. What the fuck? Oh, Horror House is... Obviously, Horror House Podcast is what we do. We've done it for going on 6 years now. It's going on 6 seasons. Okay, I was making sure I was right.
It's a regular goddamn point.
That felt like Dave was going to be like, it's 5. Know your shit. We have incorporated. Horror House Podcast is live every Thursday night right here. Twitch.tv/Horror House Podcast. Every Thursday. We will be here. Unless...
Just about.
Yeah, unless some things come up. This is where we'll be. But last Tuesday, we had our first game stream where the three of us played some Dead by Daylight with every technical difficulty we could imagine trying to get going. But we've got it going, and so I don't know if it will be every Tuesday. I don't know in between. We'll figure it out. It may be a surprise. Surprise days. Whenever somebody's feeling like gaming, we'll see what we can do. It won't always be Dead by Daylight, but maybe some kind of horror thing. Maybe it'll be multiverses because Jeff's playing it. I'm playing it. I really enjoy it. Dave, you could download that. It's free. You could get with it. You could already have been playing it.
I may. I suck at fighting games, man.
I do too. I do too. I promise you, I do.
Dude.
How many I bought so many Street Fighters. We just talked about this last Tuesday.
Yeah.
I talked about getting Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and just getting comboed beginning to end, and then I was like, I'm done. I'm out.
The only horror fighting game I enjoyed was Primal Fear, and I got my ass kicked on that. I could sometimes hold my own a little bit.
Primal Rage?
I would win. Primal Rage, yeah. I'm sorry, Primal Rage.
Got you. I got
you. But the graphics and the characters were so cool. Like I didn't mind getting my ass kicked because it was like I was getting my ass kicked like by cool Terminators and lava dudes and.
Download Multiverse. It's pretty small. It's only like 8 or 9 or 10 gigs thereabout. It's pretty small. And we could, if we want to play Dead by Daylight next week or next couple weeks, and somebody's like, okay, I've had enough of this. Let's do Multiverse. We could do that. I just got to remember to turn the game sound on when we stream so people aren't like weirded out by the weird nothing behind us.
What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
All they do is hear Dave heavy breathing.
Really, from what I heard, it was mostly me being jump scared every match. I'm like, oh fuck, oh shit. And Jeff is like, what are you doing? I was healing you. I'm like, I'm running.
I didn't realize they had a skill check. You're like, stop fingering the hole.
Why is everybody putting their fingers in my wounds? That's what you're missing. That's what you're missing out on.
Yeah.
When we do some games, we'll figure out something. If it's not going to be just one of us, it'll be 2 of us. If it's not 2 of us, it'll be 3 of us. I don't know. We'll figure it out. It'll be something cool. And,
so that's why you should follow and like and turn those notifications on so that you can be notified when we do decide to go live.
Yeah.
Because it takes us like 15 minutes to get the technical shit right every fucking time because
it's always something different.
Because that's how I roll.
I feel like I'm not usually hit with them, but I got hit with them this week. Jeff got hit with them this week. We all 3 got hit with them in different ways this week, which is fuck a technical difficulties. I said fuck you. Fuck off. Anyways.
I like how it's a character now.
Chris is
technically literally goes, this is a character that just shows up.
I'm acting with myself now. Well, I think, fellas, I think the time has come. Let's get to our main topic of the night. And let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, the late great, the king of cult, the pope of pop culture, Roger Corman, who the internet infrastructurally speaking, shudders at the mere thought of somebody clicking see more on his IMDb producer credits. Because if enough people did it at one time, it would shut the whole fucking shit down. It would shut the world down. And that's commendable. That's super impressive.
Displaying his IMDb credits takes more computing power than it took to land on the moon.
It really does. I think it really does.
That's probably not an exaggeration, unfortunately.
Fellas, let me ask you this. Individually, thinking back as a kid, as a teenager, adult, when is the first time you remember being aware of Roger Corman? When's the first time you're like, Roger Corman? Well, okay. Well, okay, okay. Because I have a distinct memory that I'll share in a moment. But do you guys have any kind of memory where you're like Roger Corman, and that's like you're ingrained in you?
I have a more nebulous memory. It was a specific movie, Death Race 2000, and my one of my best friends in high school was a big Doctor Who fan and liked all that stuff. And he actually talked about the sarcasm and innuendo and stuff in Death Race 2000. So I had to go out and watch it, and I did, and then that was my first. I don't know for sure. I'm very certain actually that it's not my first run-in with Roger Corman films. Uh, because I was a big fan. Slumber Party 2. Chris, you know how I've talked about
Yes.
that movie,
The
Chopping
Buzz?
Mall. So Death
Chopping Mall.
Race 2000, yeah, starring Dick Warlock. I don't know if it's starring Dick Warlock, but I'm gonna say it is anyway.
Say featuring. That's
Brain
ambiguous.
Dead. Oh, there you go. So clearly, Death Race 2000 is older than those, but I hadn't watched them before that. And to be honest, and I think this is a little part of our discussion tonight. He was a producer for those Slumber
Yeah.
Party Massacre movies. He's a producer for Brain Dead, not a director. But he's a producer for Death Race 2000 too. I just wasn't like I wasn't as aware of him as an individual. I'm not going to say I was totally ambiguous to anybody. You couldn't grow up in the '80s and not know who Lucas and Steven Spielberg were, George Romero,
Corey Feldman,
the Coreys. Yeah, the Coreys. Sure. But
Good
Death
job,
Race
Jeff.
2000 was the first one I
Got
was
him.
like, I kind of don't know who created this. And talking to my friend Lyle, shout out Lyle Anderson, um, like that was my first awareness of this guy who's a producer and his thumbprint on this movie. Because even as a producer, you can you can get the sense of Roger Corman in Death Race 2000 and in a lot of his movies. So
yeah, I rented Death Race 2000 on old school Netflix when it was just DVDs through the mail because of you. Because you talked about it, and I was like, I need to get that. I need to see that. I never saw that. I saw that because of you, back in like 2007 or 8. So,
aw, bae.
Jeff, when do you remember learning of kind of the whole Roger Corman everything? Like, what is your recollection there?
that would be the same thing as when I started. Like Vincent Price became my favorite actor because it was that I was in high school, and of course, there's still VHS tapes at the time.
Right.
Yeah, so me and my dad went to Premiere Video in Evansville, and they had like old VHSs that they were selling and stuff, and he found The Raven. Roger Corman directed, Vincent Price,
Right.
Jack Nicholson, Boris Karloff. I mean, so that was my first taste of like Roger Corman, Vincent Price, and it's just a ridiculous movie, just funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's not his most off the wall movie.
So what made you
by far?
DVDs by email. Not by email. I meant by mail. So what, Jeff? What drew you to pick that? What was it about that you're like, I'm getting that instead of like anything else?
It's just something he picked up and goes, "Oh, we gotta watch this." I think it was also like Pit and the Pendulum.
Oh, was it
We
something he'd
picked up with
already
like,
seen?
yeah, this is stuff that my dad
Oh,
had already
okay,
seen before, and we were just looking through movies to rent, and then we went over to the section where they were just selling old VHSs, and he
right.
found the Pit and the Pendulum and the Raven, and
Oh, okay.
so we got those and we went and watched them, and yeah, that's just where I fell in love with Vincent Price and Roger Corman. Just
And you've passed it on to us. I mean, we were both. I mean, Dave probably was more. I feel like in that world, and I was kind of. I'm still working my way to catch up to both of you. But that is your line of
yeah,
expertise. That is, and the Corman Poe era. It's
yeah,
it's called his Poe era, and um, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
yeah,
I remember my first time learning of Roger Corman, and we've talked about this on the show kind of vaguely, or at least before or after. I forget. But there's this thing that used to come on TV in the 90s, the early 90s, talking 91 to 92 maybe ish. And it was the Horror Hall of Fame. Jeff, I don't know if you remember this. Dave, I know we've talked about this.
Yeah.
And it was a syndicated, like Oscar kind of show hosted by Robert Englund for horror stuff. It's what I aspire the Chuddies to eventually be. We're going to be on Fox, and it's going to be rad. And they would have like, it's hosted by Robert Englund, but they had like cutaways with the Crypt Keeper also like co-hosting, and then there was other cutaways that had I forget the makeup artist. He was married to Linnea Quigley, who was part of it. She was kind of who he did all of his makeup effects on, and that may be a big reason why I am really gravitating towards makeup. Also, are these Horror Hall of Fame things? But the second Horror Hall of Fame, which I think was 1991, they inducted Roger Corman into it, and I distinctly remember sitting on the floor watching our, the fucking tube TV that sat on the floor that everyone's parents had at the time, and it's like Roger Corman. I'm like, Roger Corman? And that just stuck in my brain for some reason. I never followed it like I should have, but I've remembered him clearly ever since, and then reading Fangoria, reading, anything since then. It's always been like Roger Corman. If you're gonna make a movie, he's gonna produce it, because that's just how things work. He's your producer. He was your producer when you were born.
yeah.
That was my first thing. But I couldn't tell you the first. Like, I probably saw like a old like black and white kind of thing on the Sci-Fi Channel or something, like back in that kind of era too, on the Sci-Fi Channel. But it's cool because we all three have like very different introductions to Corman. And let's just get into it. Does anybody have any favorite movies? Or Dave, what are you thinking? What are you thinking?
So I want to talk numbers first, and then we'll get into some favorites.
Okay.
400. You talked about prolific.
Right.
491 producer credits, 56 directorial credits, and 45 actor credits.
Yeah.
So that's Roger Corman's numbers. Now let's talk about our numbers.
Oh, I'm flashing.
Guys, how many Roger Corman movies have you watched? And how many have you watched in preparation for this?
I mean, talking about how many he directed.
No, how many did you watch though? Directed, produced, whatever. I kind of put them all together.
I am woefully behind both of you, I'm sure.
I didn't get as much in, considering it was 2 weeks. really kind of 3 weeks to prep. I didn't get as many as I wanted. Jeff, how many did you watch in prep for tonight?
Uh, maybe like 5.
I feel like I'm I feel like I'm a maybe there ish.
I'm honestly not much ahead of you guys.
I tried to watch a couple things that I felt like you guys wouldn't. And I feel like that was one thing. That was one thing. I watched Sharktopus.
I watched Sharktopus. I watched Sharktopus.
Oh, fuck!
That was the first thing I watched.
Fuck. Damn it. I didn't think anybody would touch that sci-fi era. And I'm like, that's on me.
Dave's gonna touch it.
Damn, I should have known better. I didn't think that. I thought, damn.
Okay. Chris, do you want to know what a pimp I am? I got Stella to watch Sharktopus.
And she hated every second of it, or loved every second of it?
Yep. Nope, hated every second until she fell asleep like 15 minutes in. But Eric Roberts clearly phoning in his performance. We can talk about the movie later. It is bad. It's totally CG. Like, was there a practical effect in the whole damn movie?
Other than the people?
I don't think yeah. It was really bad. The acting was bad. The plot was bad. The horror was bad. It was bad all around. But yeah, I watched it.
I mean, it really goes into that. I mean, his later career was a lot of him producing that kind of sci-fi channel original movie kind of stuff. A good portion of it. And a bunch of sequels to Sharktopus, and I mean, he's very Sharknado adjacent.
Very.
But
I feel like Sharknado kind of leaned into the absurdism more than Roger Corman did. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. But
I don't think he had that much influence into the movie, so.
Yeah, he's just kind of like, especially as a producer, just getting shit done.
Right.
For it. But he also, that said, could have been a producer on Sharknado and just was uncredited, because he's got so much uncredited stuff that is more than most other professional producers' credits. I'm reading he did tons of cameos as a favor to other filmmakers like Silence of the Lambs. I haven't seen much where a newbie like me should start.
I have something very special.
Go for it.
I have to Instagram. Never before. For breaking news. Chris, give us the news feed. I have breaking news.
Oh shit, breaking news?
Breaking news.
I gotta cut the theme short.
Okay. I am currently being followed. I was already being followed. Friends, mutuals. We call each other mutuals in the biz. I'm mutuals with Tony Todd. I am now mutuals with Pauly Shore.
Oh.
I just got it across the notification across.
If you didn't like a melting Bigfoot right now, you could you could really go for it. But you all right.
Okay. That's it.
Followed by Pauly Shore, the Weasel. Mac, what Roger Corman would you start with? It depends on, like, if you're cool with older movies, then absolutely go older. And I would say, probably to Jeff's agreeance, go the Poe era with, like, The Raven, the Fall of the House of Usher. Jeff, which one or which couple would you recommend to a newbie? Or Sharktopus. You could just go Sharktopus.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Definitely Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh shit! Right.
The original, not the musical. I mean, the musical's good, but like the original one, he shot like in like 2.5 days on a bet. It's so good. It has Jack Nicholson in it, and he's just so weird. Like he just shows up at the dentist, and Seymour or killed the dentist already, and Jack Nicholson's there. It's like he's just a masochist. He just wants pain, and his acting in it was just so bizarre. It's just so not Jack Nicholson.
Yeah. I mean, Dave, what would you recommend?
The dentist and the musical is my favorite. I recommend it is rocketed up one of my favorite old 50s horror movies, Attack of the Crab Monsters. Did anybody watch that for the episode?
Negative.
Okay. Mac Black, this is for you. I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what Attack of the Crab Monsters is. Scientists go to an island in the Pacific Ocean to meet up with other scientists that are already stationed on the island. But when they get there, they don't find anybody. Now, nobody's dead. They're just disappeared. And as the audience get to see that giant crab monsters are attacking people. But then after they kill somebody, ghost or voice will call people and lure them out into the open so that the crab monsters can attack them again. And I have discovered that there's a reason why boomers don't understand science is because the 50s movies are full of fake bullshit science all the time. And they are lured. There's a doctor that they're in these caves on this island. There's a cave in because the crab monsters are stealing dynamite to destroy the mountains. So when the mountains are gone, there's no place left for humans to hide, and they'll be able to hunt them down. And there's a tremor, and there's a cave in, and this doctor gets his hand smashed off in a surprisingly good and gory scene for a 1950-something movie.
Okay.
And he's in bed recuperating when he starts hearing the voice of a soldier encouraging him to come to the mouth of the cave. So he goes and gets eaten by the crab. And the next day, his voice is calling other scientists out into the open. They're a little more hesitant. They're like, what's going on? He's like, I'm in a better place. Come to the caves and I'll tell you all about it. So they finally go to the caves and they get attacked by the crabs, but they use grenades to try to fight off the crabs, but it doesn't kill the crabs, but it causes a cave in that causes a stalactite to kill one of the crabs. So they rip the claw off of the crab and take it back to their base for testing. And the doctor finds out that the crabs are negatively charged. A negatively charged creature, whatever the fuck that means. So they start discussing a plan to do more. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Missed opportunity, Chris. Missed opportunity. You should have had Dave full screen talking on his rant, and then you should have been at the bottom like you're doing the language.
Oh my, that's a great idea. Shit.
Oh.
Damn it.
Oh, because what you're doing is just...
Okay. Don't spoil. That's what I was thinking, Mac. That's what I was thinking. But Dave gets hot sometimes, and you can't stop him. You just gotta get in there for the ride.
Yeah, no. Thank you, Mac Black, for reminding me. This movie is so ridiculous that you want to watch it. I described it to Jackie, but I spoiled the whole thing. And at the end, she's like, yes, please. I might actually watch this 1950s black and white horror movie. So,
wow. Oh, Max says, fucking nice. Attack the Crab Monsters, thanks. I'm going to watch that one. I love horror. I watch your show on YouTube. Can't always watch live. Wherever you watch us or listen to us, we appreciate every second that you listen or watch or all of it. And the fact that you're here, if you can't be here, that's great too. Watch us later. Anytime. It's all great. We appreciate it. Guys, one thing that I didn't know about, and let me show you something that I think I showed actually a different one the other week when Tim was on. We were talking about Castlevania, but the other man, the myth, the legend, Cronenberg. I'm Cronenberg. I'm Dave Cronenberg. Body horror. People know me for body horror, but I'm so much more complex. I didn't know that Roger Corman was the distribution producer for The Brood, 1979, until looking at this. And this it goes into another thing, 77 with Cronenberg's Rabid. There is no credit for that on his IMDb. But he talked about meeting Marilyn Chambers and how he's like, I knew she was a pornographic actress, but she was very nice and well-spoken. And so I think he was like a kind of background producer on that too, of some sort, which leads me to believe that his credits are completely wrong. It's his touch on horror. Even like something that I'm a Cronenberg head. I didn't think that had anything to do with Roger Corman, and then there he is. I'm like, holy shit.
He's in everywhere and everything.
Yeah.
And spoilers for who haven't seen the episode, but I think Chris and I both really enjoyed Rabid and The Brood both. So.
Oh yeah.
Rabid was one of those finds. Like, I didn't know nothing about it till we did the Cronenberg episode. It was really good. Marilyn Chambers, as a porn actress, did a great job in that movie.
Well, let's talk now about some of our favorites, I guess. Like maybe what we watched, what we enjoyed during our watches. To kind of, obviously Sharktopus was a wash because Dave watched it. I thought I was watching something that nobody would like get into. I almost watched that Roger Corman Presents Black Hawk Down. I don't think that was the name of it, but I almost watched that one, but the trailer looked real bad. But
yeah, he was a gonzo director and producer for like, let's get in there and get it done and slap the shit together. He wasn't he wasn't let's do 20 takes and take the best one.
Right.
So,
well, I mean that goes to his kind of work ethic, which maybe we should have talked about first, but like it's like get it done on or under budget and get it done as fast as humanly possible. And those are like the tenets of Roger Corman movies. Get it done as cheap as possible, as fast as possible. And he
in a lot of ways
consistently made it happen.
He's the anti Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
He funded his own movies.
Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah.
If I'm paying the bill, I want to make it as cheap as possible. So let's talk about this just briefly here. Maybe is a good spot. The difference in those roles between a producer role and a director role. And I think it very much depends on the person, but I'm interested to know specifically what you think about Roger Corman. And clearly we don't know the guy. Maybe you have some insight I don't have. As a producer, do you feel like he was a hands-on guy that was pushing for certain aspects or certain budgetary and time things, even as a producer? Or do you feel like he was a hands-off producer? I 100% know where I fall on this argument. So,
I mean, I feel like he's both. I feel maybe like early Corman producing stuff, like he probably was like hands-on, made friends with a lot of different directors and stuff, and so I feel like they would come to him and talk to him and maybe about stuff. and he would help influence their filmmaking. And then later on, when you get all the CGI stuff, and maybe he was just like, yeah, here's some money. Here, I respect what you're doing, trying to help people out.
I mean, I saw a clip of, I don't know what Sharktopus sequel it was. I mean, I think this is what it was. Sharktopus versus Jungle Lady. Yeah, I mean, it showed him, like, I know he had a cameo in a lot of those movies, I think, but it showed him on set, like, looking at, like, an effect they were trying to do. And he's like, maybe do this. And it wasn't, like, authoritarian, like, governing, trying to, like, this is what you should do. He's like, well, maybe, you should do this. And that's,
Raj.
Yeah. Style. Yeah, but at the same time, I watched maybe a year ago, I talked about Forbidden World or Planet or World. I always get it wrong.
With
World, and that used sets from Battle Beyond the Stars, reused sets, which was a big thing that he did. To, like, he would have sets for something and be like, come up with an idea for another movie and then film on those same sets at the same time because money, and it's done, and there they are. And it's commendable. But Forbidden World, the director was saying that one of the female actresses on that show didn't want to do the nude scenes that I guess she'd already agreed to, but on the day she's like, I'm not doing these nude scenes that you want me to do. This day and age, something like this would not quite fly, but back then in like early 80s, Corman told him, go get the ugliest body double you can find and she'll agree to do her scenes. And she did. Listen.
Told Jackie the story. I told Jackie's story, and I kind of knew where what she would think about it, and I was right. She's like, he sounds like a disgusting person for that. I mean, I outside of that story, you don't hear like Weinstein stories about Roger Corman.
No, dude was almost 100 years old. You never got that kind of stories. Like, I feel like that was one of the worst ones I heard. It was like, oh, she don't want to get the titties out? Well, go get ugly titties.
and if what you said, like, she agreed to do this and then backtracked, I mean, that might.
At the same time, that was from the director or the writer that was telling the story. Well, I mean, it wasn't him. So, I mean, hearsay, right? I don't know.
I know how those stories go too. It might have not been, hey, go hire this. Might have been telling her, like, this is what I'm going to do if you don't.
This is your option.
Fine,
yeah,
we'll do this.
Maybe they were just joking.
Maybe
having a beer, joking.
I always tell Jackie, you got to judge people and their actions by the time they take place. So we are a society that wouldn't tolerate that kind of thing now, but if this was the 70s or the 80s, like, that's you in the 80s had to have a pair of titties in the movie or like you were going to get arrested. State law. So,
I mean, I still think you should be fine at least.
They created the whole movie Showgirls just to show Jesse's boobies.
They showed more than Jesse's boobies. Come on now.
Oh my God.
We need that as a scene. I'll tell you what. Have either of you watched The Terror?
Yes.
I watched parts of it today on Prime. Or maybe YouTube.
Is that
Prime?
Is that what the anthology?
No.
No. Has Jack Nicholson in it. The version I watched was you could have shot a movie on a Nokia phone from 2002 and it would have looked better than what I watched today. Jeff, how bad was the quality of what you watched? Because the one I watched was almost unwatchable. It was so bad.
Yeah, had bought like one of those cheap DVDs that had the Terror on it. Oh, there's one on the there's like two on Tubi for Little Shop of Horrors, and one's just like horribly like you can't even tell anything. So
is that just like the source of it, like whoever?
Yeah,
like
people get because it's free because you can
like
it's the
a source
copyright.
of a source of a source, and then it just becomes so degraded that it's
right because copyright law, you know,
it's a Zapruder film is better
in public domain now. Public domain.
Yeah. And so that
I had heard that the Zapruder film was in better quality. So
it could it stands. We could compare. But yeah, I tried to watch that today.
You bring up Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson is in a surprising number of these Poe era these Poe era Roger Corman movies. So
yeah,
that's
and Dick Miller. So
Dick Miller.
And Dick Miller. Bucket of Blood. Bucket of Blood is another one that I thought was really neat. One, I'm a Dick Miller fan. Those who are new to the show, our trivia team name was always something Dick Miller. So, you know, even for the non-horror trivias. So.
Whenever we go back, we should name ourselves Dick Miller's Codpiece.
I'm down for it. I'm down
for it. Because every time they're like, great. Dick Miller's Codpiece is in third place or second place. Yeah. I think we could win. If I hone in, I feel like I could help more.
Well, we did get a first place finish for Gremlins. Jeff, pound it, man, give it up. Boom. First place for Gremlins. What did we get? Was it a second that you carried?
I wasn't invited to Gremlins.
For horror. Well, I mean, we had the girls. And you know, bitches be cray. So
I guess so.
Sorry, but we got.
I really like
got
Gremlins.
That. We had
Gremlins 2, the new batch. Love that also. Could have really helped.
Down for it. I love it. I love the Hulk Hogan version and the John Wayne version. So we got a second place for Avengers. We had.
I love Avengers.
Was it a second place for horror, or was it third place we got for horror?
Second place, I think.
I know we didn't outright.
Third.
Second, I think you're right.
Oh, I thought it was second.
Jeff.
I think it was third, right? Because I think by the time we got anything, which is like wasn't much left.
Like we were, yeah. Mac asks, what would be your perfect Roger Corman Devil feature? Great question. Thinking about two different subgenres of his films, each. I think what we should do, if you're gonna do a pairing, I think pick something early and maybe something a little later. I don't know if I'd go Sci-Fi Channel original later. But
are we talking producer creds? Because you know where I stand on some Roger Corman producer movies.
I feel like, I mean, that's part of his whole thing, right?
Good.
Like I mean, if we stuck to just director credits, that would be much easier, but I don't feel like that is really Roger Corman to me. Like you got to get the producer credits in there. So let's figure out the early one, which I think should be one of the ones he directed. Maybe Poe era. So let's workshop that. Which is what's everybody's favorite? I've not seen all of them, but I really like Fall of House of Usher. I don't think that's I don't know. That's the one that I've watched. So
I started The Raven. I got maybe a third of the way through it. Another Jack Nicholson, and I want to say Peter Cushing as well. I could be wrong. But it was kind of slow. It was dragging. Who?
Peter Lorre.
Peter Lorre. Okay.
Come on, Dave.
Jeez. Yeah, Peter.
This is really Jeff's wheelhouse. This era.
Yeah. What would you? I defer to Jeff.
So I'm expanding. Yeah.
Because I've only seen Fall of House of Usher. What would you pick? What would be your recommendation from the Poe era? Maybe you don't even recommend one of the ones he directed from the Poe era. What would you pick for the first movie of a double feature here?
I mean, to get. I mean, I love the Poe era, but I would say Little Shop of Horrors. It's got that mix of horror and comedy in it, where it's not over the top ridiculousness. So I feel like it has that nice kind of way. Like you're like, oh, okay, it's not completely like straightforward, like, but it is funny. It's got its moments in there.
Right. I think you may be right. I don't know. Yeah, that's just
that's perfect. That's a perfect pair. If I may be so bold to suggest a second movie that also is now Roger Corman produced, but really blends some and a little bit of camp, especially that ramps up as we go.
Come on, Dave.
Slumber Party Massacre 2, baby. Love this fucking the Driller Killer. Where did you think I was going? You knew where I was going with this.
I should have known, but I didn't. I was going Piranha. I was really going Piranha.
I do like Piranha, and I like the 2000 something era remake. The Hoff,
yeah.
Don't Hassle the Hoff.
Yeah.
And yeah, that one's is great too. It may even be better than the original, just because the quality is a little bit better.
It's a whole different kind of movie. It's very more campy, more being comedy for comedy's sake.
Sure.
How about this? How about we do you one better? Let's do one better. Hold on. Instead of a double feature, we're going to give you a triple feature. Each of our picks. How about that? Let's do that. And then if the one of the three of us you like the least, you can disregard that one.
Sure.
I pick Piranha. I forget the year, 79.
That's a good transition, though, if we're going Little Shop of Horrors to Piranha to Slumber Party Massacre 2. And we go chronologically, I feel like we got a pretty good triple feature.
Okay. Piranha, 1978 Piranha. And then Slumber Party Massacre 2. And Little Shop of Horrors, was it 50s or 60s, Jeff?
'60s.
1960.
Okay.
There's your triple double feature. And I mean, you can like I said, yeah, you can drop one of those and make it a double feature. But fellas, any other aspects of the Corman that you want to talk about before we get to our kind of end segment? Because I got some things for the end that I want to talk about.
I feel like we have to take a moment to talk about the Fantastic Four.
Yes.
And Roger Corman is going to get some blame here, but I mean, this is a Hollywood problem, not a Roger Corman problem. Clearly, he was hired to specifically produce a Fantastic Four movie solely so Fox can hold on to rights.
Yeah.
Was it Fox at this point? I believe it was. Um, so it was shitty. If you watched the Doomed documentary, it's great.
Yeah,
I
it's
recommend it.
great. I agree.
Um,
If you
it,
have any
it,
passing interest in the Fantastic Four 1994 movie, you have to watch it.
if you have passing interest in filmmaking, this is a good movie to watch, I feel like,
Yeah.
because or human interest. It's a human interest movie. The actors and the crew that produced this movie, that they really did put their all into the movie. And my favorite is the guy who played Doom. This is a theater guy coming in
Yeah.
to play Doom. And in the documentary, he talks about, like, I gave my lines like, um, you shall not disturb the independence of Latvia. I will murder the Fantastic Four. And he's doing this over the top production, and it just I
Yeah.
would have I've not seen it. I don't know. Have you seen
I've
the
watched
I
parts
believe it
of
is
it. I've never
free,
watched the whole
so
thing beginning to end, but I feel like I've seen it, but just not in one go. I don't know that
yeah.
anybody should watch it in one go. It's But I waited for that movie back in the 90s as a kid, and I was 11 years old in 94. So I was waiting with bated breath for that movie to come out and I could get it at Blockbuster or wherever on VHS. I was so ready for that shit, and it just never came. Never came. I'd buy Wizard magazine and look through, and it's like Fantastic Four movie news. It's delayed for this or that, and then it just never came out. And then, little did we know, it was made to just essentially hold on to the rights to the Fantastic Four, which is what it is, I guess. It's almost it is now 30 years ago. So,
Yeah,
don't carbon date
1994.
me. I'm
So
not giving my age out like that.
oh no. Um it really wasn't like what else was in 94? When did Daredevil come out? The
Like
by 94, we
2003.
have
It would have absolutely been great on VHS.
yeah.
It would have sold a bunch of copies. It would have been rented a ton. It doesn't matter that it was low budget. It would have made its money back. Easy. Just me renting it. Easy. um but
Blade was 98. Blade was 98, and so Fantastic Four was just right before Blade come out, and
yeah.
the difference in the budgets was so, shocking. Wow,
Can you
okay.
repeat the name of the doc? Dr. Doom?
No, the documentary.
Doctor
Oh, the
Doom?
doc. Doomed. Doomed.
Doom,
Thank
the
God you're here,
untold
Jeff.
Documentary
story of
Doom.
Roger Corman,
Yeah.
the Fantastic Four.
Just look up. It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube for free. Don't pay for it if you don't have to. I mean, we're not. Just do what you want to do.
It's
A
on
lot of his
Tubi.
films you don't have to pay
I
for
think
because you can
Yeah,
go to Tubi or Internet
this is true.
Archives.
This is true.
since you brought that up, Jeff, the one movie I wanted to watch the most was Wild Angels, and I could not find it for free.
Mm.
Um, so I really wanted to watch Wild Angels. It has a little bit of a reputation, and I wanted to watch that. Just now, I just was scrolling through and realized something I looked past. In
Real sized.
1990,
I'm giving you
Roger
shit. I'm
Corman
sorry.
was the distribution producer for a movie called Flesh Gordon Meets the Cosmic Cheerleaders. Have you ever? This movie is great. I can't recommend it enough. Go watch Flesh Gordon. It is fantastic. It is raunchy. Don't watch it with your children. It is everything you think it might be and more. At one point, Flesh is being chased by a monster that is a giant penis with legs, and he runs into a cave in the hills. The hills look like boobies. The cave looks like a vagina. It's
I know why you like Sausage Party now, Dave. I understand. Things are coming clear.
Yeah, you see how low my humor goes.
I had a joke earlier about Sausage Party, and said I wanted to say that I was in a garage band in 1997 through a couple years, and so I know a thing or two about sausage parties. We'll be here all week.
Do yourself a favor. Do yourself a favor. Imbibe your favorite drink, your favorite herbs, whatever you're into, and watch Flesh Gordon. It's great.
I'm gonna have to look it up now. Are you still taking shots? Jesus Lord, man. I've not taken the second one. I've drank 4 beers.
So is the Wild Angels, is that with Peter Fonda?
Yes. Yes.
And yeah,
I think it's less horror. It's about a motorcycle gang.
It's on Internet Archives for free.
There you go.
Okay. I'm not going to get trafficked if I logged on to Internet Archives, am I, Jeff?
No, because it's public domain.
Yeah. There are 2 Flesh Gordon movies, Mac? Dave, do you know of the sequel?
I don't know which one I watched. I might not have watched Cosmic Cheerleaders. It might have been whatever the other one is. I just know I watched a Flesh Gordon movie, and it was fantastic, and I regret nothing. I laughed so fucking hard.
Mac found it. But
Mac's coming through, man.
Let's get some final thoughts on Corman as the Whorehouse Boys, and then we'll get into our outro for the week. I guess I'll start. Like we talked about at the beginning, I've known of Corman for over 30 years now, over most of my life, and he's just been like a indie, not even horror, but like sci-fi horror, like old school sci-fi, which is so fun to me. I love that shit and haven't got deep into it, and that's like Battle from Beyond the Stars, Forbidden World, stuff like that is so cool to me. And we may just do a whole nother podcast if I can drag these guys along, and we'll just do a bunch of old sci-fi movies. Jeff's in, Dave's in, we're gonna do it.
Sci-fi is great.
It's so good. I love watching, if nothing, the production behind them, like the sets and stuff. It's so cool. And just stuff like that. And we've talked about like indie filmmaking. We've talked to indie filmmaker on here before. And stay tuned for my freebie, The Blob mega series. It'll be coming in the next 15 to 20 years, hopefully, if delays permitting. Look out for that. And I take a lot of inspiration from Corman in the production for the Blob mega series. But Jeff, whoever wants to go next, I ain't gonna pigeonhole you. Who wants to go next? Tell me your thoughts, your final thoughts for Roger Corman. Rest in peace.
I'll go next. There is something to be said for anyone that is willing to put themselves out there. I think anyone, like everyone hopes and dreams of, like, I'm going to make a movie, I'm going to make a living doing this. But you said it. We talked our good buddy Dan Brousseau. The Hawk and Rev Vampire Slayer guys. I talked to the Valentine Bluffs guy. And Jeff and I at Horrorhound met all kinds of cool indie creators, and it takes balls just to put yourself out there enough to, like, I'm going to put something together. I'm actually going to invest in something and put it out there for public consumption. That takes balls right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here.
I'll do it.
I'm patting you on the back. You can't pat me on the back. I'm patting you on the back.
It looks like I'm assaulting Jeff.
We spent years drunk at the end of a Friday, Saturday night playing Call of Duty, talking about this.
Yeah. Hold that thought. because we're going to talk about a little bit more about that. Don't go into too much detail, but we'll get into that in a couple minutes. But yes, that is how. Okay.
I'm just going to say,
yeah.
It was that implanted embryo of an idea to this. Chris jumped in with, "Hey, I figured out how to do this. Hey, I got a company. We're going to do Anchor. Hey, we're on Spotify. Hey, we're gonna do this. We're a YouTube channel. Let's bring Jeff in." But so that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna pat you on the back for that leap. Someone who really has some difficulty with like public and that, and so good on you, Chris.
I thought you were talking about Jeff.
But anyone who, and Jeff too. Like, I mean, I don't think Jeff is quite the talker
He's coming out
that
of
I
a
am.
shell.
I'm a talker and a bullshitter. I don't know that anybody walked within 3 feet of me at Horror Hound that I didn't talk to, and so it's not me. I'm born to talk.
Yeah.
The creators that create something put themselves out there, like a la Roger Corman and Roger Corman himself. Good on these people. I will always support indie filmmakers. So,
amen, brother.
That's it.
Jeff, final thoughts for our Roger Corman episode.
I mean, yeah, you just can't hardly. You just really can't have any start without Roger Corman. Just even if some of the sets were ridiculous or the acting over the top, I mean, they're classics. So, I mean, it's all about, like Dave was saying, low budget, get it done and put it out there, and it was either good or bad. And I mean, that still brings in the money, that still puts you out there. And
it's kind of cool, and it kind of should inspire everybody that looks into it. Is you put something out, and what you put out may not be your best, but you're going to put out another thing and then another thing after that. So you're just going to keep going and do your best at the time that you can. So fucking just put it out there. And like, to throw that back to what Dave was saying, you just gotta do it. And if anybody should have had a Nike deal, it should have been Roger Corman. 1995 Chicago Bulls. Man, Jordan, no, it should have been Corman, because he did it. He did it before Jordan.
Yeah, he just did it since the 40s. So
if somebody wants to Photoshop a Roger Corman but with the Nike brand saying "just do it," it'd be pretty cool. You can tweet us. Actually, you can tweet us. You can slash us. You can email us. I'd love to see that. Come on. Throw one at you boys.
I want to see Roger Corman dunking from the free throw line.
That'd be pretty cool. All right, but to end things for the Horror House this week, something that we've been talking about backstage for a couple weeks, but I wanted everybody to come in and kind of. We should probably have maybe put this at the beginning of the episode, but this was very Roger Corman forward, so we'll put ourselves second. I feel like that's fair, but a little reintroduction to the Horror House boys, Dave, Jeff, and Chris. Just before we go, let's just kind of throw out there. Obviously, we started because me and Dave would play drunk Call of Duty, and I'd be like, "Man, did you ever watch Nightbreed? Did you ever watch Return of the Living Dead 3? And then we would talk for like 4 hours about these things. And it's like, man, if we only had a podcast. And then one day, we just decided to make one. Because we're humans. And every human should have a podcast, I think. I think that's a human right at this point. Your finger's gone.
Oh no.
But and we've been going for over 6 years. 7 years? 5 years. I don't know. Time means nothing. Time stands still. Remember, I love Rush. Anyways.
5? We started in 2019, so.
Yeah. Right before we had to stop for a year, which was fantastic for us. But we had Jeff on in the first year doing a Roger Corman movie, Man with X-Ray Eyes. And Jeff, you're the new guy around the block, the whorehouse block, essentially. I feel like everybody knows something about me and Dave. So let's start with you, because everybody wants to know the man, the myth, mystery, Jeff. Oh, they do. Trust me, I get the emails. I sent them to me, and they're like, "We need to know more about Jeff. Like, what's some of your favorite movies? What got you into horror? Why are you here? Give us the nitty gritty. Give us the Jeff introduction to Horror House that we should have gave you on your first episode, but we're lame." And I'll take a shot while you do it and make that face. Go ahead. Floor is yours. Okay. Whole floor is yours.
Well, I mean, like I was saying before about getting into like at Premiere Video, like me and my dad would start watching like horror movies together, and he would buy like the movies that they were selling, and got into The Raven and The Pit and the Pendulum, and there's I think a few other like Corman, Poe, Vincent Price movies, that were also available. And so yeah, we would just start going down and we'd start watching horror films. And my mom is not a horror film person at all, and
amen.
One of those movies, she was like, "Never watched this movie." It was Last House on the Left. So what happens? Me and my dad rent Last House on the Left.
Really? I couldn't imagine watching that with one of my parents. Oh my gosh.
My mom wasn't around. So I was like, oh, she's gonna be gone. Let's go to the go rent the movie, go back home, watch it. So yeah, it's definitely, it was just a thing that became between me and my dad. To watch horror films. Like growing up, like if my dad was watching a horror movie, me and my sister would try to sneak into like the family room, hide behind the couch, and kind of watch. Yeah. And I think the first movie I saw my dad watching was horror was Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warrior.
Really?
And of course, my mom walks in the room, sees us behind the couch, and then like, turn that off,
Oh.
Made us go to bed and stuff like that. But,
nice. That's great.
And so it's like I was never able to get that chance to really watch, horror movies growing up until like probably when I was in high school.
Yeah. So did you watch them with him in high school, or did that just kind of become a thing you did by yourself?
No, that's just the thing that probably just started watching, horror movies here or there, and then it just became a thing between me and my dad.
That's cool.
We watched awesome. The Blair Witch Project together. My sister had went with someone to theater, and they talked about how terrifying it was. So when it came on VHS, me and him watched it and basically just tore it down because it was just horrible. It was like, wow, this is what people thought it was real. It's like, these are actors, obviously. This is not found footage. I don't understand. So yeah, we just made fun of the entire time. It was great.
So what is at this point, you've had several years been in the horror game. What is like a couple, 3, 4, 5, I don't know, however many you want to name. What's like a couple of your top picks of horror movies? What is something you go back to again and again? I mean, if you have a favorite, sometimes it's hard, to pick just a favorite. But like, if you have a couple favorites, like throw them out there. What's Jeff's picks, for like a top few horror movies? And it's always changing. No, it ain't gotta be set in stone.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Vincent Price is my favorite actor. So I mean, a lot of them are going to be Vincent Price movies, like House on Haunted Hill. It's got the horror. It's got a little bit of kind of weird kind of comedy in it. Last Man on Earth.
Oh yeah, I love that one.
That one was really good.
Yeah.
So you get into like the first Nightmare on Elm Street. So the classic horror, and then some off, mostly cult. The Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is just ridiculous.
Okay.
I mean,
that explains why you're friends with me and Dave in a way. I'm there for it.
When you can go see it live in an amphitheater outside, and you get to yell weird, crazy things at the screen, and you throw things, and you shoot water guns, and the first time that I'd seen it, we was at the Evansville Amphitheater, and before that, I guess you could bring your own stuff, but when we showed up with our own stuff, they wouldn't let us bring it in. They had a kit you had to get.
Oh.
And it wasn't as great.
So probably people weren't throwing knives or something.
Yeah,
and
their stamp on it.
You
can't bring toast in, but for $30 you can buy toast to take in.
Yes. Jeff, thank you for anything. Any final words? Any final words before we move on to Dave? Because I'm gonna have to go pee very soon.
So would Sausage Party be in your second 5 because it didn't make your top 5?
I got your back, Jeff. I got your back.
Thank you.
Any final movies or thoughts you want to share as your kind of introduction that we should have done 2 months ago on an episode? But I'm a lame ass, and we're
we'll get there eventually.
yeah. But we appreciate you here. You're great. And thanks for joining us. Thanks for being here in the horror house.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. You bring an element that we needed. You feel like you authenticize us. You're like the awkward
silences.
Yeah, like you'll be like Dave, Sausage Party ain't it? Or I'd be like, well, I guess I'll check it out. I don't know.
Talk to us, Jeff, just briefly about your college program. You took a writing course, so tell us about that.
Yeah, it's 2018. Took a script writing course online, and my mentor, Richard Brandis. I don't know if you know his films and stuff. A lot of them end up on like Lifetime and stuff. But I wrote a script, and and then after that, it was just kind of family issues and stuff, and I had kind of got away from writing anything. So I'm trying to get back into that and explore that.
Was it the Richard Brandis with an E, Brandes?
IS,
Is
I believe.
IS. Okay. Well, this script. So I remember you taking the class. We were hanging out at the time. Give us a quick rundown. What was your script about?
It was a Western, of all things. It wasn't horror related or anything like that. But it was just a tale of revenge. So like it was basically
And that shot my horse.
Huh?
I'm looking for shot my horse, and then you track him down. That I'm just being a smartass. Ignore me. So
That's just like
I'm a fan of westerns. I like westerns. So I think the Young Guns 1 and 2 and Tombstone are some of the best movies I've ever seen. The Man with No Name series by Clint Eastwood are fantastic. Unforgiven, Clint Eastwood is one of the best movies of all time.
Shane.
So I'm a fan of westerns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
To echo what Max says, Jeff, keep on writing. Keep on writing. Do it. Do it. We have talked about that kind of stuff a lot. Me and Dave both have stuff that we've worked on. Obviously, you're collegiate. We're not quite to collegiate, but you know.
Doesn't matter. You just,
yeah. I've had
you do is read scripts and
Yeah. I've had thoughts, and we've talked about it a little bit before, but like, I don't know if on the Horror House or if something separate someday is like doing some kind of fiction kind of writing stories that we present to the other person. It's not really script writing, but like the same kind of thing. We could talk about it. I think that'd be really cool. But Dave, why don't you tell the world, give them another glimpse of Dave, another introduction to you. Your favorite movies, what got you into horror.
Okay.
Jeff, go pee if you need to.
I've talked about my horror past a lot, but if you update,
I got a big reaction to that and I missed it. Shit.
My first formative horror movie was
You are sounding like a Bigfoot calling the fucking deep throat right now. You.
Let me shut down some tabs here.
Close every tab and get everybody off your internet right now. This is your moment to shine. Don't miss your chance to blow. Mom spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti all over my arm spaghetti. Oh, what the fuck? I'm opening Reaper, so that's about to fuck shit.
Yeah, obviously.
God damn it.
So my formative horror movie, I would have to say, is that really formed my early horror entry, and one is Boris Karloff in The Mummy. It was that old black and white mummy movie. It was my grandparents had it. I think I'm sure it was VHS, but around Halloween time when we would go out there, I would demand to watch this movie, and it scared the fuck out of me, and it scared the fuck out of my cousins, which was even better. And so there's that. And then I distinctly remember I'm not a kid who was allowed to watch horror movies. I was strictly forbidden from watching horror movies. For a while, now that was after this next story, but for a while I had to spend the night at my friend Chris Boaz's house so I could watch Sammy Terry on Saturday. I know I had another friend, Chris. It's there could be only one, so I'm down and murdering.
Sorry, I had to jump in there.
But we would watch Sammy Terry. So locally, he was the like Seth Ben Gulli, Joe Bob Briggs of local TV, and now he mostly showed older shit. But like the newest thing I ever remember watching on Sammy Terry, King Kong 1985.
Jeff Bridges,
Screaming Skull. Screaming Skull. The thing with Tourist Trap.
Oh,
favorites that
absolutely.
But the other formative movie, my parents one time we had rented a VHS player, a VCR, as the kids called them these days, and they were put us all kids to bed so they could watch a scary movie. And bedroom was right off of the living room, so I snuck up as quiet as a fucking mouse, and I just fucking ninja'd up to the door and I slowly creaked that door open about an inch and peered through and stood and watched with one fucking eye through about an inch crack in the door the black and white Invasion of the Body Snatchers movie.
Ooh,
And
yes.
it scared the fuck out of me. It was
Nice.
we've talked on the show several times, and I'm a firm believer that it's not the movie itself always, it's the
Right.
formative experience around it. So
Right.
standing the taboo nature of that, just
Not
everything, even
yes.
the voyeuristic
Yes.
peering through the door played a big effect on this. And so when the
Right.
movie was over, I closed the door around and tried to sneak walk back to bed to go back to bed so I wouldn't get caught.
But you're
And my
scared.
own shadow on the
And yes.
fucking wall, I tried to scream. I was so fucking scared I couldn't.
Oh no.
Nothing came out but silence. I
Oh
thought I was dead.
When that
yes.
tingler gets you,
Yeah.
gotta
And
scream.
I loved every minute of it. I will periodically be like, I really wish I could have a nightmare tonight. Just to live again. I mean, I guess that's my
That's a
version of
horror
petty. I
movie
don't know.
fan's dream. I feel like it's like God. I'd love for a great nightmare tonight because then you wake
Yes,
up and you're
yes.
just like revitalized. It's so fun. It's so we may have to do an episode just on that. Dave, real quick. Mac asked, "What are your favorite horror books?" Did you mention horror books?
I didn't mention horror books. So it's funny that you asked that. I was really wanted to go to the bookstore all week. I've been dying to get over there and get something. I I'm about halfway through Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and I don't know what book.
Jeff gave you a
So
look.
I have dementia. Um,
A great podcast to listen to. So
I I I
Oh shit, that's a
oh
Corman
man,
a movie
Stephen
that
King is
I
great.
sat through. I kind of did other stuff as it was kind of plotting, but Frankenstein Unbound is one that I turned on as I did other things, and that was Raul Julia. Jeff, me and you are big Raul
Yeah,
Julia
oh
fans.
yeah, love Raul Julia.
And he was
He was
Victor
great.
Frankenstein. Um,
I'll have to watch that.
yeah.
yeah.
It's on YouTube. You can't find it any fucking where else. I don't think you can buy it. I don't think you can buy it. It's so hard to. I had to.
It's
Anyways.
amazing how many good movies like people would buy this shit if they made it available.
Yes, you get into
You
the
know,
rights and the copyright stuff, and listen, I think artists should be paid, but at the same time, if you're making art, it should get to the people. So why are we fighting over copyrights?
if I own the rights to some shitty fucking movie, and I'm in shitty movie. I'm not saying anything specific. Get a break. If I own the rights to some shitty movie,
I wish I could have
I
zoomed in
could
on you.
sit on it and nobody watch it,
Yeah,
and it does nothing good for me. Or I could put it on somewhere where people can watch it and get paid a fucking penny a watch.
goes back to
I
what
don't
you were
know. I
saying
don't know.
and what we talked about with Corman is like put it out there. You got to have the courage to put it
Yeah.
out there, and then Max says Clown in a Cornfield is a slasher 80s vibe book currently reading, humble recommendation. So
I think
get
there
on
are
it.
3 of them.
I
I've been
have
getting this
two.
pushed to me in my fucking shit,
I did a couple months
and,
ago and haven't got on it.
it
I will
really
check that
is.
out. I'll check that out, Mac. I'll check that out. Um, Dave, if I may, now it's time for me to talk about RoboCop.
The floor is
I
yours.
know, Jeff.
Only if you talk about RoboCop shooting people in the penis.
I'll talk about that. I'll talk about that just for you. One of my favorite additions, Jeff, is I feel like you're my gauge of funny. If I say something then you laugh, I feel like I've accomplished something. But if the couple of occasions where I've said something and you don't make any expression, I'm like,
What have I
done? If I can make Jeff laugh, I feel like I've done work, and that's really kind of one of my priorities at this point. So thank you for that, Jeff. But a similar thing with you is a dad thing. Is I used to go with my dad to a VHS store, and I would get. Occasionally, he'd get like a newer release, but I was very much into the getting 5 VHSs for $5 for 5 days. And I would run the gamut from Friday the 13th and Freddy and anything. One time I snuck in Faces of Death in there, and I'm like, I'm gonna go to jail for this. I didn't. Still haven't. Authorities haven't caught up to me yet. But at the time, yes, I was still playing with Nickelodeon GAC. If that tells you the age that people should, for watching Faces of Death. I was like right on the cusp of like quitting playing with toys, but I was still like young enough to like, oh, GAC.
Who doesn't love GAC? Silly bunny.
That drove down me.
It's the face of taste right there. Like, oh, that is so good. It's
face of horror.
Yeah, but a lot of those is how I saw a lot of movies at the time. And Joe Bob Briggs, my dad turned me onto that. Joe Bob Briggs on Monster Vision on TNT back in the 90s. I remember watching Night of the Living Dead 1990 for the first time on it and being kind of more traumatized by that than I was Faces of Death, because it's so realistic, the effects and stuff in that. But some of my favorites. Obviously RoboCop, which we've done an episode on. Jeff, if you want to talk about RoboCop, we could do a second episode. I'd love to do that.
I had that for $1.
We didn't mention that. Somebody on YouTube was like, how do you do a RoboCop episode and don't mention that? And I'm like, we were just talking about shooting dudes in the dick, part of it. But
the best, the commercials.
Yeah,
Nukem.
Yes.
It's ridiculousness of it was great.
But The Exorcist was a movie that had like a real stigma to it when I was a kid, with my sister at the time, and I would fall asleep. I remember renting it at least 2 times with her as a like pre-10-year-old. Like, this is the scariest movie you'll ever see. And I'd fall asleep before anything scary ever fucking happened. I'm like, okay, sure. But then I finally made it through it one time, and I'm like, worse than if Jeff doesn't laugh at one of my jokes. I'm like, and at some point I bought it on VHS and kind of lived with it in a weird way and kind of watched it like Beetlejuice, where he's like, I've watched The Exorcist 157 times or whatever he says.
Yeah.
I may be Michael Keaton is what I'm saying. But that was a big, like, getting into the scariness of something and living with it and being like, what makes this scare me? And I really love that idea of something that sticks with you, and that has transferred to the podcast, The Black Coat's Daughter, which is kind of one of our up there episodes and listens. Yeah. And the only reason that I suggested that to Dave back in the day is because the idea of it stuck with me. And I love horror that does that. I love any movie, any kind of art that sticks with you, I think is great. It may not be the best thing ever, but if it sticks with you, it's cool. And that's big points for me. Whether it's nostalgia, whatever it is, it could be the story, the effects, like Night on the Living Hills, Dead of the Dead, Romero, Corman. I don't know.
That's a great one.
I took a shot way too late in the show. But RoboCop, Night of the Living Dead, 1990 specifically. 60s I love, but 90 I just saw at the right time to really get me. RoboCop, Night of the Living Dead, Exorcist, obviously the Romero trilogy, especially Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead is special to me. Return of the Living Dead is another one that I love top to bottom. And Chud too. Bud the Chud. Jeff laughed at that, so I feel great. I feel personally great. But
it's just nothing to do with chuds other than just one chud running around this country falling in love.
and all the David Corman stuff, which I became a fan of in the last couple of years because of the show. I think Dave even suggested it. It wasn't me. That I slapped myself real hard. See, Jeff, you legitimized my comedy. I love that. Yeah. But and then at the end of it, I'm like, this may be my favorite director. I think it may be, and then it kind of is. I've bought so many books and so many Blu-rays, and you know, that's Chris, that's Dave. That's Jeff. There's kind of our horror where we're at, what got us into it. We would love to read where you are and what got you into horror. So leave it in the comments wherever you're listening right now, or if you're a little bit shy, I understand. Leave it at these or email us, and get we won't talk about it if you tell us not to, but we would love to know your guys' horror stories. It's great. We're a horror community, horror fam, hashtag. And we're all in this together, man. Max says,
without exaggeration.
Go ahead.
Without exaggeration, I'm on this. I'm big into the politics stuff. I try to leave most of that behind for the horror stuff because
because your Bigfoot career
and at work, and I don't judge people for for different things. I know that Bigfoot is a proud boy, and that's kind of disturbing. But out of all the communities I belong to, the horror community is the most welcoming and supportive. I mean, you got your dicks and you got your gatekeepers, but in general, in aggregate, like horror family has less people like yucking your yum than anything else.
Yeah,
so
I agree. Absolutely agree. Max says, since you guys are presenting yourselves, and if it's enough time, what would be a short opinion regarding the fact that many times horror movies before were linked to a collective experience with a lot of people in a movie theater or a couple of friends around a DVD versus today's experience? I have a Cronenberg thing to put towards that. If you want me to start with that, or if you want it to end, fellas.
Start with that if you want.
So, visually, technically speaking. Yes. Technically speaking, the horror movie presented to Cronenberg very recently, last couple years, he's like, how do you feel about horror being presented on the big screen or on something like an iPad? And he's like, either one. I think either one is absolutely fine. He's like, I'm not directing it for something that's on a big screen or something that's on a small screen. Wherever you experience it is fine. I think iPads, for horror is great. He had no preference on one or the other, and so a big crowd versus a little crowd, I don't think would affect the master, the myth, the legend, the horror maestro. I'd pull my book out and do a skit right now, but it's really late and I'm very drunk. But I got Jeff. Yeah, that's where Cronenberg sits, and I refer to him for everything, even human sex. Unfortunately.
What about human car sex?
Even that. Guys, opinions? I'll make one more shot, and I'll regret everything about it. I have an
opinion here. So, yeah,
Dave is the theater guy.
A great question. I am the theater guy. We love the theater. The theater experience. There was something special about video stores back in the day. And then story. that VHS experience back in the day. The reading the boxes, looking at the box art, the taboo nature sometimes of the video store and of the horror separate horror section back in the day. So, there
Oh God.
thing about that. As
Sorry if I'm breathing hard.
I really experiences because of the theater. We went to Studio Movie Grill and watched the first 40 Meters Down movie. Jackie went through a period where she was super into movies. Kind that's we went and we one of her friends, and at point popcorn fucking flying because her friend like jumped and popcorn goes flying off the theater. When we watched Don't Breathe, the part where the spoiler alert, the part where the boy falls out the window and he lands like on the roof of the little I don't know what it is, it's like a glass top roof over, and the old man's walking around underneath, and the glass starts to crack. There was a woman shouting at the top of her lungs, "Run the fuck up, get out of there! The glass is going to break!"
I'm so much into that, so but the laughing confuses me. But like stuff like that, I totally get. Jeff, how do you feel?
Totally get that.
What's your opinion on regarding the fact that the collective experience versus more of a confined experience?
I mean, I've always been more confined, other than like me and my dad maybe watching horror movies together, but like staying up late at night. Didn't have cable growing up. And
staying up late at night watching horror by yourself or with a friend or two is a whole vibe on itself, I think.
Yeah, and right before the stations cut off for the night, one of the stations you would play like weird old films. You get like Fortress with Chris Lambert and movies like that, like other offbeat weird films, and so to me it's always been more of a confined thing because it's always been my thing, so
that's a good point, and I agree. I absolutely agree. I think more than Cronenberg, I am absolutely more in your court because that's how I grew up with horror. Is like I was talking about renting the 5 days for $5 with my dad.
Yeah.
And I would watch them by myself. I'd fall asleep. Like I would try to watch 5 movies from like 9 o'clock on a Friday at one time, and obviously you're gonna fucking pass out as a 13-year-old. But God, I loved that. I loved that so much. So horror, it's a great experience. Whether I think essentially what we're getting to is either way. Either way, horror is great. However you want to take it. If you think it's more of a social thing, if you think it's more of a confined thing, it's there. It does it. And not a lot of things do that.
I have to admit, this is a little.
You are so found footage right now. Don't nod at me like that. I know you're not at me in disrespect, but listen. It's not my fault. You sound like a string that's wound too tight. It's not my fault. I'm doing my best over here. I ain't dropped no frames.
Damn you.
I love you. Get to your point.
I'm on AOL. That should be the best internet service.
Listen, Elian Gonzalez from fucking 1994. Elian Gonzalez on a raft internet is my fucking old Black Ops joke from 2010. Go ahead, Dave.
No, it's a cop-out answer to say however you like it, but it really is true.
It really is.
I told you my full theater story and interaction. 28 Days Later, when that first came out, Danny Boyle, Cillian Murphy. I watched that in a theater by myself. There was no one else in the fucking theater. I grew up watching movies at the Video Corner, but also going down to the Crump in Columbus, and that old ass theater, and the vibe was just there. So I mean, there's nothing about horror. I like the social aspect, like the sanitary aspect. I like taking movies seriously and movies that take themselves seriously, and I like movies like Attack of the Crab Monsters and None of This Earth that I can sit back and rip on
right
while I'm still enjoying the movie. And like I've said before, I like those old movies for the peak to the past, because movies made in the 50s are made with 50 ability. Seeing how society has changed. And I remember the man with the X-ray eyes, a doctor, and I'm a woman. Like,
you're a
no,
woman?
sure.
What? That's the only thing I made out of that whole shit. What? Dave is a special kind of frozen right now. I think Jeff's riding my court right now.
Okay. X, the man with the eyes. Do you remember when we did this?
Yeah.
You had the doctor and the female doctor. And he's like, I'm a doctor. And the girl, who is also a doctor, he doesn't talk to her like she's a doctor. She says, I'm a woman. And she's a, So
yeah.
You get the sensibilities of a whole pastime. And the fears. Like, what were they afraid of in the 50s versus what are we afraid of now?
Yeah. I mean, Mac, that's a great
societal collapse.
I don't know what you just said.
Societal collapse, but shit is bad.
Toilet collapse? I don't know what that means. Yes. Mac, I think that could be a great episode in itself, because me and Dave have kind of been at odds with theater versus at-home viewing, because there's been several things that he's went and seen that I've not had the opportunity. Like Godzilla just came out on digital to even try to watch, and Dave watched it ages ago, and I'm like, I want to watch that, and Dave's like, I already watched it, sucker. That said, we need to wind down. Because my wife just got home and she'll decapitate me if I'm not off here very soon. But I have a whole another beer that I open, which is unfortunate for me. Not really. I'll drink it real fast.
You gotta drink it.
A jug.
I made Jeff laugh. That's all I was after. That'd be cool, thanks. All right.
That's the slowest drinking it real fast I've ever seen.
I'm not a shotgunner. I am not a shotgunner. But
hi, Fonda.
Dave says hi. She waves at you. Horror House may be at Cincinnati Horror Hound. Horror House at Horror Hound. If anybody in the surrounding locations wants to show up, we'll be there. And we can talk horror. We can meet horror. I don't know who's even going to be there. But... And we're going to... Like Dave's daughter Jackie said, make that a special episode. I don't know that will be on Twitch. That may be just like a edited YouTube kind of thing. Yeah. That may have to be like a, everybody send me your footage, I'll edit it into some kind of a thing, and we'll put it up on YouTube. Anybody that we meet that wants to meet us, which may be hopefully one person, or two.
Hopefully,
come on, two.
I'm trying to get my friend Dan Brousseau.
Is he going to be there?
Probably not.
Oh, fuck.
It's too close to the election. If he gets trapped over here, if they may not let him go back.
Good point. Dave, you're making this very political tonight. And you said you don't do that.
I'm just saying.
You did, but you just said you didn't.
It's not a Republican-Democrat thing.
You said you did, but you didn't.
Nobody trusts Canadians.
You did, but you didn't.
Nobody.
You said also no, but you did. You did, but you don't.
Like you're talking to a cat.
But
I do that.
I feel like these two guys have talked me into it, and I'm kind of preparing. September, correct? Thumbs up.
September.
All right. Look for us. You know, we'll talk before then. Obviously, it's just June. Maybe. Is it?
It's June.
Jeff shrugged. Dave said yes. I don't know what to make of anything.
Days running together.
Dave's Sasquatch. We're gonna be at Horror Hound, the three of us. Jeff, how do you feel about this? I'm saying the three of us, but I feel like I'm not giving you. He's throwing Tarman up. What do you feel?
See.
We'll see. That's not. He's not committing. I'm committing right now because I'm a drunk asshole. Jeff is not as drunk as me.
No.
Jeff, did you have a good time last year?
I did. It was a great time.
Now, if you added Chris,
it'd be fucking awesome.
Who's kind of one of his life goals is to make you laugh.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of shenanigans could we get up to at Horror Hound that would make I think we should set a goal this year to make Jeff laugh and get so drunk he laughs and pisses his pants. That would be ultimate to me. I've done it. I did it during the They Live episode.
You pissed Jeff's pants?
I pissed Jeff's pants. No, he doesn't even know it. I snuck over there. Pissed his pants.
I had to throw one in before we ended for the night. At least two of us will be there. Dave, I am committing right now to Horror Hound. I'm committing because I'm drunk and I believe in everything. I believe in ghosts, and not ghosts. Jeff won't commit. He's in that. He's not.
I believe in the ghost. Do you believe in the ghost of the Loch Ness Monster impregnating the demon-possessed Bigfoot on government soil as commanded by Indrid Cole and filmed by the Mothman?
Indrid? At Area 54.
Area 54.
Yeah, it's 3 areas higher than 51.
Oh, fuck, is it 51? I felt like 54 was not right. And then Jeff was like 54, and I'm like, I got it by the skin of my teeth. Motherfucking shit. See, this is what you're missing out on our special horror house at Horror Hound Cincinnati. Cincinnati is what we'll call the YouTube. It's going to be great. It's
not a coincidence, Jeff, or Chris, that you said 54. Because 5 minus 4 is 1. So if you subtract 1 from 4, you get 3. And if you take that original 1 plus the 1 you subtracted and subtract from the 5, you get 2. 23. It all comes back to 23.
That's what I exactly come up with. I've seen a lot of those kids on TikTok that are like seeing the numbers flash before their head and they're doing that kind of fucking shit. And I didn't make Jeff laugh quite with that. He's kind of like
really confused.
yeah, but it is a thing.
Okay.
I saw the movie, so
we don't know.
Make a note. Sign language humor does not work on Jeff.
Does not. At least not remotely. I'll try it in person. At Cincinnati Horror Hound. I've never said something like that. It really hurt from my coccyx. Which is up here? Here. That's what I meant. I meant titties. I meant metal titties.
In the back of your throat.
But we don't know. what we're doing next week, I don't even know whose fucking pick it is next week. I think Jeff.
Yeah, I think Jeff, because Burbs,
me,
Chris
and then Roger Corman is
Pet
kind of
Cemetery, so it is. That's a group. That's a group thing.
Yeah.
So it's definitely Jeff's pick.
So
you want to lay it on us, or you want to lay it on us after the show, Jeff?
I am
you need some time?
thinking. No. I've already thought about it.
My man.
2 movies. But I think I'll go with George C. Scott again with Firestarter.
Okay.
The George C. Scott, man. Gotta respect it. Gotta love it.
Let's get his last
the
4
great
movie out of the way.
continues. The Great Scottathon continues. Did George C. Scott ever act in a Roger Corman movie?
I don't think so.
Every movie is a Roger Corman movie, if you think about it. Why doesn't LibreOffice want to close when I click on it? That's where we're living right now.
Because it's free.
I've listened to the Metallica Master of Puppets album at least 6 times tonight.
I'm sorry.
You're sorry? Just fired. Just fired. This is the Chris Metallica stream. Metallica Master of Puppets may be the greatest album of all time. Rhythm, guitar, tone, and execution speaking solely.
Chris.
James Hetfield is
Jackson
Jesus and God.
I feel like Chris and I are just drunk rambling at this point.
That's all I do. That's all I do.
You know how good Metallica is? They lost to Jethro Tull.
Back then, which is that still made them rebels, and then they sold out and won.
I'm hurt. I'm hurt, Jeff. Do you really not like Metallica, or you just fucking?
I like a few of their songs. I am not a fan.
We have got a road trip, the 3 of us, because I feel like I've heard Dave's musical taste. At least I did 10 plus years ago ish.
All over the place.
I need to live that life with Jeff, and I feel like then
you don't know how I am fully immersed into pop now. So start preparing a road trip playlist on Spotify, Jeff, for us to listen to on the way to Cincinnati.
It's going to be a lot of Jethro Tull, which I'm fine with. I love progressive rock.
I'm fine with Jethro Tull. If it was 100% Jethro Tull and Parliament Funkadelic, I'm in.
Oh my God, get the funk out. I'll play Extreme and bridge the gap. It's going to be great.
Yes.
More than
words.
No, get the funk out. If you don't like what you see here, get the funk out. Listen. It's time for Horror House to end for the week. Good Lord. Jeff is like, Jeff say get us out of here. We won't end until you say it.
Oh, there we go. He said it.
Good night, Dave.
My man. There we go. Jeff says good night. That's the end. We'll see you guys next Thursday. Maybe before for some Horror House games. Follow us and we'll see what happens. Love you guys. Love you guys. We're out. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Later, Mac. Bye-bye. 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 Say bye, Jeff. I've not heard Jeff say bye yet. I'm waiting for that.
Bye.
There you have it.
Bye.